So you just did your first competition. You had the best physique you've ever had in your entire life. Couple days go by, show's over, and now you're feeling kind of fat, right? This is something that happens to a lot of competitors. I'm gonna tell you guys how to never blow up post-competition again. And this video is going to be pretty kick-ass, you guys, so make sure you're sticking around to the end to get all these tips. I swear if you follow everything I say in this video, you're never going to be going post-show feeling bad about where you're at, turning the results around and gaining a bunch of weight. You guys don't understand, when you go to stage in general, no matter what division, this is relevant for all divisions, by the way, bikini, wellness, men's physique, bodybuilding, any of these divisions, that's what we're talking about today. It's relevant for all you out there watching. You got to understand that, you know, when you go to stage and you actually get on stage, you've been dieting a long time. You've been doing this prep for, you know, who knows how long. It could have been an improvement season first and then into the prep, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, could have been more for some people, right? And you do everything you can to make that stage physique your absolute best in that moment when you get up on stage, so the judges can see it, so you can see it, you can be proud of it, you know, your friends and family and the audience, whoever's out there, you know, this is that one moment of presentation. You do all this work for those, you know, couple minutes at a show that you're gonna be on stage. And what happens after show, notoriously, you guys, and if you've been following, you know, anything in the space for any length of time, you've probably seen this, heard of it, is that competitors a lot of times will blow up after their competition. Literally rapid weight gain of body fat after their show. You know, sometimes it's 15 pounds, sometimes it's 20 pounds. I've heard of people doing 30 and upward, you know, in the few weeks after their competition, let alone months go by, you know, and all of a sudden all the work you did, all the progress you made, all that hard work and effort is just wiped. It's clear, it's gone. You're basically starting back from zero. And, you know, a lot of times these people have the same kind of mindset with, you know, they got to do another show, in other words, to even maintain a physique or diet or whatever. But on Team Flex, we do it pretty different. We do it entirely different, actually, right? My goal for every competitor post-show is to not have them blow up. I'll tell you guys exactly how to do it, and we're going to go step by step here, but you really got to understand that piece of the puzzle to really get what I'm talking about. This is a very common thing in this sport for people to do it. It's almost like become normal, but it shouldn't be, and here's why it happens. First thing you have to understand, you're on a diet for a very long period of time when you're going into a prep, okay? No matter what, you have to go through that dieting phase to meet stage level condition. For every division that you do, it's going to be different, right? Bikini and wellness, they have different conditioning than figure, women's physique. You know, on the men's divisions, you know, men's physique has different conditioning than classic and different than bodybuilding and so on and so forth. But no matter what, there's one common variable. You're going to be on a diet. You're going to be focused on a specific type of nutrition, you know, whatever that is. And a lot of times, what happens when you're on a diet, no matter what, ladies and gents, is you're going to have your metabolism slow down. This is what happens. The body meets the calories coming in and it says, okay, we're doing this, we're burning body fat, but we also want to, you know, make sure the metabolism isn't going too crazy and we're burning too much, because you guys got to remember, your body has no idea that you're prepping for a bodybuilding show, right? Our primitive brain that dictates how many times your heart beats, how many times you take a breath every day, all these things that happen in your body you don't have to think about that are not conscious efforts. There's parts of your brain that are working for that too. So, you know, it detects your body instead, hey, we're doing cardio. Hey, we have pretty low calories. We're also lifting a lot of weights. We're doing a lot of activity. Your body does not know you're going to be a bodybuilder on a stage, right? It just goes through the paces of trying to figure out what's going on, and what it takes in is what's going to put out. So your metabolism will slow down when you do a prep, right? So this means if you were, you know, in the improvement season, you had pretty high calories, you were rocking it, killing it, having a good time, eating a lot of good foods and all this stuff, and your metabolism pretty fast, you know, as you do a long period of dieting, it's going to slow down. And that means now the less calories can come in versus before, and you're going to actually gain more body fat if your metabolism is lower, etc. Okay, guys? So I don't want to go into the science too much. I got a lot of content for you guys through this channel that we do that. There's plenty of stuff on our website at teamfflex.com too to dive into a lot of the contest prep stuff. If you want to check more about that, I don't want to go too into the science here on the YouTube for you guys, but you know, that's one thing you want to understand. So make sure you check out the website if you want to go deeper, and also subscribe here for more videos just like this. We do tons of awesome content, you guys. You know, but back to the diet and the way it all works, it's going to slow your metabolism down. So this is one of the reasons that, you know, as soon as the show ends, you know, competitors kind of go crazy and they go out there and they're eating everything in sight. You know, their coach had them on such crazy diets, all this stuff, and now they're gaining a bunch of weight. Now here's where it becomes a problem, right? Like I said, no matter what, you're going to diet and, you know, your metabolism will slow down a little bit. That's going to happen no matter what. any phase of dieting. However, there's a lot of different ways competitors will do diets in this sport. Okay, there's the meal plan, right? You guys have heard my opinion on meal plans. I talk about it all the time. Meal plans are not the best solution in my opinion, and a lot of times when they're done in the sport of bodybuilding, they're very extreme. We're talking about tilapia and asparagus 6 times a day, chicken breast, brown rice, and broccoli. All the same things that you eat all the time, the same meals all day, every day for 12 weeks, 16 weeks. It's crazy. When you do that kind of stuff, your body it gets super adapted to those foods, and it's no longer adapted to a wide variety of foods. And that dictates how things are going to happen in your body when you start eating again what people call normal foods, right? Not prep foods, right? It's funny to even say that because it's not true. It's not a thing, but I have to say it because I know that's a lot of what other coaches and other people talk about out there in the sport. Now, not to mention just extreme food choices, right? Like these food choices that are pretty bland, pretty boring, and they're not producing any better results, even though that's what a lot of people will tell you. A lot of coaches are going to also take your calories way down, okay? Like I'm talking about dangerous levels of calories. When I train we train a lot of bikini competitors, wellness competitors on Team Flex, stuff like that. They're coming in sometimes from other teams, other coaches to train with us, and I'm seeing they're on 400 calories a day, 500 calories a day, 600 calories a day. They're doing 2 hours of cardio, they're doing weights, and they're eating 400 calories a day. It's insane, and it's like totally unsustainable, totally unhealthy. But remember what I just told you about the metabolism, right? And it's going to go down, it's going to meet. Okay, so if you're eating 400 calories a day, okay, and it's not killing you, you must be Superman or Wonder Woman or something like that. Either way, what's going to happen is your metabolism shuts way down, okay? It literally goes into starvation mode. That part of your brain that's, I was telling you about, that's sitting back here all the time thinking how to keep you alive, it freaks out when it sees that, especially coupled with cardio, training, all this stuff, and it shuts literally your metabolism down to the point where, if you smell a piece of toast, you're probably going to gain some body fat, okay? That's literally how it works. So when the metabolism is real low like that, and you just did your whole prep, you suffered through the diet, you're doing the tilapia, the asparagus, 400 calories a day, now it's time to compete, and you're on stage, and now you're off, and you go eat a burger, or you eat a pizza, or, you just totally go off the rails, you're going to gain a lot of body fat, okay? So one of the main problems, you guys, is bad nutrition coaching, bad prep nutrition, period, to get in that zone. That's going to result in rapid weight gain. On Team Flex, here's a good solution. I'm going to give you guys my solution, what I do, and what works, what I've seen work with literally thousands of competitors over my career, is keeping a wide variety of foods in the diet. You guys know we do a lot of macro tracking on Team Flex. That means I tell you the goals, the protein, carbs, the fats. You eat what you want. I don't tell you to eat tilapia and asparagus 6 times a day. If you chose that on your own, whatever, but it's got to fit to my goals. Most of the people that we work with are having a wide variety of food, okay? They're eating different things all the time. They're working different treats in, things that other coaches and teams would tell you absolutely can't have, that also create these same problems when you nix them, right? So I like the variety in the diet. I like my competitors to be well fed. I like them to feel good, and we never on Team Flex do starvation diets, period. We're not doing it. You're never going to see anybody on our team doing 400 calories, 500 calories. Just won't happen. 600 calories. It's never going to happen. My goal when we're training competitors is to keep them eating as much as possible while still getting a result. And, a lot of times when we're eating more, we're getting better results because, again, we're not shutting the metabolism down. We're not making body fat stubborn. We're not doing all those things by dropping those calories or following these strict nutrition protocols. We're actually just bringing people through and, keeping them healthy the whole time, which, it's crazy to say, produces a really good result. That's one thing you guys got to consider. Don't drop your calories too much. If you got a coach that's cutting your calories, drop in the comments. I'll fire him. I'll do it again. I just did it on the other video. I'll do it again. I'll call your coach up and say, hey, why you got this person eating these low calories is crazy. I'll fire him. I'll get rid of him, okay? Remember, keep your nutrition varied. Keep a wide variety of foods. Don't go into this mindset either of thinking that, there's certain foods that are better than others in all these ways and create this enemy type mindset with certain foods. That's how, it's a topic for another video, but you can really go down the path of getting some type of an eating disorder from doing contest prep. Strongly encourage keep a wide variety of food, keep yourself, well fed, and keep those results coming based on, a regimented process of assessing where your check-ins are at and making adjustments. It's a really good reason to have a good coach, somebody that can do this for you and tell you how to do it. So that's one thing you have to consider. Now, another thing is not just the low calories, not just the nutrition, not all that. You have to consider the fact that if you go from stage to doing nothing else, right after, you're going to absolutely blow up and gain weight, right? So what I mean is, you know, all these competitors that go on these diets, they do these restrictive things, they get in their mindset that, you know, the certain foods are all they can have. Even if you're doing macro tracking, we all hear this kind of stuff, you know, certain foods fit macro profiles better when the numbers are lower overall, right? Like if I have a bikini competitor in the off season, she's eating 3,000 calories, she's going to eat a lot more food than she's going to be on prep during that time, so she can fit a lot of more, you know, higher carb foods in, higher fat foods in, things like that, versus when you're in prep and you might have to make different choices of foods based on what you can actually fit into your diet. What you got to understand though is if you're on that restrictive type diet, that extreme type diet, a lot of coaches do, or maybe you're setting yourself up on, what happens is now you've deprived yourself for so long that you're basically like hoarding food on prep, right? Like waiting for that night, waiting for that day, waiting in your mindset for the time the diet's over and the cheat day begins. But what happens is that cheat day becomes a cheat weekend, and then a cheat week, and a cheat, you know, couple months, and now you've undone everything. And like when you do this stuff, you guys, you got that slow metabolism coupled with eating all this crazy food because you've deprived yourself, you're gaining weight crazy. You can gain a lot of weight very, very fast. Again, like I've said it a lot, but this is how you avoid it, okay? Working those variety of foods in, keeping that going, and not getting in the mindset, you know, where you have this cheat kind of day. Obviously, after a competition, you know, first thing I tell all my athletes every time is, hey, yeah, go enjoy your food, you know, go have a nice meal with your family, do all this stuff, go out with your friends, you know, whatever, have a pizza, I don't care, do whatever you want. And then I say, you know what, we're getting back on track tomorrow. And you know what that might sound like in your guys' brains, like, whoa, that's pretty extreme, I've been dieting, been doing all this, but that's because you think like in the sense that coaching is done how all the other coaches do it. The way we do it, my clients can go have meals with their family all the time. They're not pulling out Tupperware, eating asparagus in the middle of, you know, Denny's while their family's having breakfast. It's just not the way it works. That's what a lot of coaches do. I've seen this. I've seen it at restaurants myself, and I was like, what the hell is this crazy shit going on? And realistically, you don't have to do that when you are doing the type of nutrition that we do on Team Flex, where you can eat whatever you want, you can do all this, you can fit all this stuff in. We never get to that deprivation mode. But I've also known the competitors, right? Literally, they go on Amazon and like every week they're buying another candy. They're buying another this. They're buying another that. They're saving up, and it's in a box in the back of their pantry, far, far away under a lock and key. And then there's 2 guards outside the cabinet making sure you don't come in there because you can't have that until the end of prep. If you have that type of mindset, you're gaining 20 pounds after your show. I guarantee you, very short. 2 weeks, you're gonna be 20 pounds heavier, and you feel very, very, very bad about where you're at. So one way to avoid it, don't make enemies with foods. Don't cut those foods out. Keep foods in your diet. Have a rotation. You know, on Team Flex, you guys, I'm not even gonna lie to you, we allow for the most cheat style foods to be in our diets all the time, okay? We let that happen. You know, when I have competitors, I tell them to follow 80-20 rule. What that means is 80% of the foods you eat are good, wholesome foods. You're an adult. I don't gotta tell you, you can't eat macaroni for breakfast. I mean, it's not the best choice. Don't do it, right? That you're gonna wanna eat eggs or whatever, you know, some kind of healthy, we all know type of whole food, okay? 80% of your foods are those, but we leave room for 20% of that, you know, fun food, stuff that people would tell you can't have or you don't think you can. You can fit a little candy here or there. You can have a damn cookie. Trust me, you can, and you can still prep. And I bet you, honestly, when you do this, you'll be better than you ever were. If you're a seasoned competitor and you haven't been happy with your results on stage, following the most extreme diets, the most extreme cardio, the most extreme training, I would invite you to try the opposite, and I'll tell you, probably do better. You'll feel better. You'll look better, you'll place better, you'll have a better experience overall as a competitor when you have what I call balance. And that's one thing you guys always got to remember. My other tip, never blowing up from show. You want to make sure that you have balance in your life, right? And bodybuilding is a very serious thing. It's a very serious thing to go about a prep, to decide you're going to stand on a stage in a bikini or, you know, board shorts or posing trunks or whatever in front of a bunch of random strangers, the whole internet, people, your family out there, your mom, your dad, you know, your whoever, your guy at Safeway, the guy that checked you out the other night might be in the audience watching you as you pose in your bikini or your posing trunks on stage, you know? So you have to be prepared for that. And it's a very big thing to train for as long as it takes, acquire the right muscle, and then diet down, go to stage level condition. It's very hard to do. But what you can't lose sight of is the fact that outside of that competition, outside of that contest prep, you have a whole life that you still have to prioritize, right? you have to still be aware that, you know, at the end of the day, yes, this is a very serious goal. You're hyper focused on it. Absolutely, you should be. You want to do your best. You should do your best. But you can't ever do your best when you only focus on one part of your life. You got to think of your life like a wheel, you guys, right? A pie chart where you put every single thing you have in there, where it's, you know, your business. You know, for me, it's my business. You guys might not have a business, whatever. It's your career, okay? It's your health, your wellness. It's your bodybuilding goal. It's, you know, your friends, your family, your significant other. I don't know what you guys do. Your charts can be different than mine, but the point is you have all these areas you want to make sure you're putting all this energy into evenly, okay? If you get this idea where we need a wheel to roll a car and it's our pie chart of life, if you got one area that's bodybuilding and everything else is taking hits because you're not focused there, you're gonna have serious problems with that. And again, this kind of no balance effect is what's gonna lead to you snowballing after the show, snowballing after the competition, going crazy that whole prep, and then going equally crazy on the opposite end when you turn the whole switch off and you have no mind about, you know, anything. The way we do prep on Team Flex, you guys, and I feel like I'm always saying that, but it's because it's so different, you know, than a lot of coaches do. We have a lot of health focus. We have a lot of overall longevity focus. I know that you might be competing right now for your first show, your 50th show, but someday your goal might be to, you know, play with your grandkids instead, and you're not worried about getting on stage, and you want to be around. You want to be there for those types of things and moments in your life. We all have different goals. We have different things that happen. Bodybuilding should be something to enhance your life, not detract from it, but it can detract when you start doing this stuff, because we didn't even talk about the worst part, you guys, yet. And if you made it this far, thank you so much. Thumbs up me. It helps me a lot, and make sure you subscribe, guys. You know, the channel, I feel like it should be a lot bigger. I feel like we should have a lot more. So even if you have extra minute right now, you guys really want to help me out, you made it this far, share this video with somebody you know who competes, okay? Shoot them a text, say, hey, check this out. Well, maybe you know somebody stuck in this kind of stuff, right? Maybe you know somebody that is constantly miserable from blowing up after the show and all this kind of thing. Send this to them, share it. I appreciate it so much, you guys. My goal is to help as many people as possible. That's why we do this content, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of staffing to get this stuff done, and we're out here doing it for you guys. So please help me out if you can. At least make sure to subscribe. The worst part, you guys, about this whole thing, you know, this kind of idea of blowing up post-show and doing all this, is what it does to your mindset as a person. You know, a lot of times you hear in bodybuilding, the extremes are fine. People are willing to go to the extremes. They don't care. It's, you know, extreme type goal in a sense, so they're willing to do whatever it takes. You hear that all the time. Whatever it takes. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll do it. Those same people are the ones that always go so far the wrong way after show. It's crazy. And you know what happens? You go from your best stage physique, you go from feeling absolutely great with where you're at, you know, all the work you've done, all the proudest moments have been, you know, your journey from improvement season to stage to competing, and now, you know, you've gone off stage, you fell off the rails, you went a little bit off, you know, with everything, you ate too much stuff, you gained a bunch of weight, you did some of those bad practices before. Now your mindset is totally trashed. You're going to feel so terrible about where you are on a whole new level because you were so used to being where you were getting ready for a show, that if you go so far off after stage, it's game over. Like, your mindset will be terrible. I've seen many competitors. I mean, this is almost a normal term in the sport. I don't agree with this, but you know, they call it post-show blues. Okay, post-show blues, where after your competition, it's cool, it's okay if you get depressed, if you don't feel good, if you're unhappy with where you're at, if all this stuff. I mean, they call it a normal thing, and you know, it's a lot of things going on internally. Could be some hormone damage from the prep you did, could be some metabolic damage from the prep you did, could be a lot of things, but mainly what I'll tell you guys it's the loss of the goal of the stage. That's one thing. When you don't have a goal that's defined in your brain, like having a stage goal, you know, you're going to feel unmotivated, you're going to feel unexcited, you're going to feel like you don't have that direction anymore, that you just had that whole prep. And then also it's going to be, you know, the factor that you have to consider that if you accept that you're going to have post-show blues, if you're going to go through this idea where that's a normal thing, then, you know, doing whatever it takes is one of those things that can produce this on, you know, a biometric level in your body because of the choices you made. If you go through this and then you go through that and then you go all the way through prep and into this, and you've been binge eating and you've been doing all this crazy stuff and you gained a bunch of weight, I doubt that you're going to feel good. You're just not going to feel good. So this post-show blues is something you can totally control, stop, put an end to by just not rebounding post-shows. All right, I told you guys at the end of the video, we were going to come in. I was going to give you the most important tip. So if you made it this far, this is where the most practical thing is. We talked about a lot of the problems. We talked about some solutions. Here's the number one solution. Bring everything through on your prep. Just like I said, keep the balance, keep the nutrition. Don't do the crash diets. Don't do low calories. Don't do all this right after your show, okay? Show's over. Obviously it's time to celebrate. Go eat a pizza. Go do whatever you want. Get crazy. Get a little crazy. Eat some of that candy and stuff you forgot about, you haven't eaten in a while. Have a good time. Next day, you get back on track and you do what's called the reverse diet, okay? Big tip. You got to be doing a reverse diet. A lot of competitors only work with their coach like through the show, through the competition. Stage is over. See you later, coach. I'm done. Good. We did the job. Awesome. I'll be back next year. That's not how I believe it should be done. That's not what we do. Team Flex, we coach everybody 365, all right? We offer a wide variety of different programs and timelines, but pretty much everybody does a year. Our average client is really training with us 3, 5, 6 years. I mean, we have some clients that have been here since the beginning and are still training with us. So to give you guys an idea of how I think of coaching, how you should think of your prep coaching, it's not something that ends when you get off the stage. The reverse diet is what needs to happen. And the reverse diet is this period of time where after the show, we took the calories down like we talked about, metabolism came to me and all this stuff. Here's where we're at. Even if we did it perfectly, we kept all the balance, you're still going to have that lowered metabolism like I talked about. So what you do is a reverse diet and you start bringing those calories back in. You start adding some more foods in. You start adding more macros in. Maybe it's more carbs. Maybe it's more fats. It's going to be different for each person, but you're doing this slowly and strategically, allowing the body to literally bring the metabolism up to match the pace of calories bringing in. So instead of going, all right, I was on 1,500 calories a day, but I'm a bikini competitor, I went to stage, I'm going to now, no diet, no tracking, nothing. I'm going crazy. I'm eating whatever I want every day, and that turns out to be 3,000 calories. You're going to gain weight very, very fast, okay? You're going to gain a ton of weight if you're not in the right realm. But if you start at 15, you say, all right, cool. Now my reverse diet's starting on Monday. Just had a nice cheat meal. I feel good. All right, here we go. Still tracking, still doing what needs to be done, still following my macros, and my calories are maybe at, I don't know, in that analogy, they were at 1,500 before, maybe now they're at 1,600. Maybe now they're at 1,750, something like that, right? Where we brought them up. And this has to be coached, so don't write those numbers down. Don't try to do that, all right? I'm just giving you guys an example, where we're bringing the calories up, and I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to assess the athlete now. I'm going to watch them. A couple check-ins go by. One check-in, 2 check-ins. Start seeing, all right, how does the physique looking? How is the scale looking? Are we going up too fast? Where are we at? Let's keep bringing it in as needed. Now, this is not a linear path for everybody, okay? Could be that you go 1 check-in, and okay, great, and we increase, and another check-in, okay, great, we increase. Another check-in, okay, great, we increase. Or it could be you get 1 increase and we got to wait a week or 2 to see kind of how you assess, It's all totally custom, you guys. And again, why I always hammer that, you got to have a good coach that knows how to look at the stuff, knows your physique, understands how you're going to respond, can adjust these things based on those variables, bring them up, bring them down. I never have to bring calories down on a reverse diet. It's always going to be just a pacing thing. So understanding the reverse diet, having a coach to guide you that knows what they're doing, immensely beneficial. And honestly, I would say don't even do a contest prep if you don't have a coach that can do this. If you're not going to stick with a coach after the prep and do a reverse diet, because I'm telling you, you can avoid literally every problem that we talked about in this video if you have this. And if you don't have this, you will get every single problem that I talked about in this video. So really make sure you have that, you guys. The reverse diet, it's this period of time where it could take any amount of time. But what happens is you're going and the calories keep coming up and the calories keep coming up and the metabolism coming up and you're feeling better. You're putting on muscle mass. You're staying lean. We're not gaining crazy body fat, right? That's a whole part of the coaching there. And what happens is your calories get higher and higher and higher and higher and they keep going, but you still look really good. You still, close to stage ready. You're still close to your stage physique and you're gaining weight, but it's in the form of muscle. You're not putting on a lot of body fat. And what it does now is it puts you in this great spot where, all right, maybe it's your improvement season. Maybe it's your off season, if you will. You don't want to compete this year again. You're going to just wait and do another show in a year, whatever. Well, now you can stay lean, right? You can stay relatively lean, build muscle, continue the reverse process, keep eating tons of food, enjoy all parts of this, and have the physique all the time, you didn't blow up. It's a hell of a lot better than what so many coaches do, so many competitors do, and it's because they're lazy with the way they coach. They don't even want to do this stuff I'm talking about in this video. They don't want to put you on a reverse diet. I mean, it's more work for them. Why would they want to do that, right? So it is tough to do, you guys, but when you do it right, you will never regret it, and you'll feel so good about how it is. You'll feel so good with how you look, how good the results were, and you won't blow up. You're not going to blow up, okay? And again, like I said, you know, it keeps you relatively close to your stage physique. So let's say you decide you want to jump on another show at some point. Maybe it's 2 months down the road, 3 months down the road, later that season, whatever. Your prep is so easy now. It's so much easier. For those of you that come out and you got a lot of weight to lose, a lot of body fat to lose, and that's your prep, or maybe you had a lot of muscle to build in the beginning and you had to do that phase first. I mean, staying relatively in your stage physique post-competition is a huge advantage for doing more and more shows, competing more frequently, feeling good about where you are, and just being able to do shorter preps overall, as well as keep your health and wellness in mind. So that's something I think has to really be echoed. It has to be really brought home. Like, gotta have the reverse diet and avoid doing all that bullshit that I talked about in this video, you guys. And if you do, you'll never blow up again. You won't. That's the title of the video. So we're talking about all day. You will never do it. We do it all the time. You know, Team Flex is very well known actually for keeping our competitors in good shape all the time, because a lot of people that compete, you know, they're doing other things where they don't want to gain 30 pounds post show, and some people do it, but you know, like, not on our team. If you're out there in the sport of bodybuilding and you gain 20-30 pounds in the first 2, 3, 4 weeks after your show, I can tell you what, you don't train with Team Flex. That's for sure. All right, so the ones that do, they stay lean, they build the muscle, they feel good, they go further, and you know, it does everything I talked about today in the video, you guys. So I hope that made sense to you. Let me know if you guys have any questions about that, if you want to know more, if you want me to do a part 2 of this. I feel like I could talk forever, but I think we've been here a long time, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down now. And you know, more content coming, you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Remember, share this. You guys, you could really help one of your friends out there that's gonna go through a bad coaching experience, a bad approach, deal with these things that are gonna, you know, it could hinder them for life after doing a bad prep. So sharing my content with them, you know, even just sharing the channel, whatever, it really helps a lot of people, and that's why we do this. That's why I'm in here slaving away in these bright lights, doing all this work right here to help you guys. And I hope that you get something out of that. Obviously, we do offer coaching, you guys. If you're interested to learn more about that, my website is the place, teamfflex.com, and you can check that out. It's a free coaching trial we have over there to show you a little bit more about what we do. But you know, everything that we talk about is everything we do. And that's, you know, so if this sounded good to you, these ideas, everything I was talking about, not gaining 30 pounds post show right away, I mean, go over to my website, teamfflex.com. Check that out. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon. Coach Rise out.